Hey viewers, George here to do a first impression talk impressions of a demo version of a game that will be coming out next month, as of this thing. I'm talking about the demo Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I probably didn't. Okay, so, today's the 5th, so yesterday actually, they released a demo for this game. And I was playing it this morning, and oh my god, it is so cool. If you if you never heard of this game, which I don't blame you if you haven't, it's Namco Bandai's new RPG that they're releasing, and what's really interesting, I think what a lot of people are really heavily focused on about this, is that the animation studio in Japan that did Spirit Away, Castle in the Sky, you know, those kind of films, the Cat Returns and whatnot, are actually helping and working on the animational part of this. So, like, there's cutscenes and, like, the whole artistic flow and whatnot, heavily partnered with them. So that's what everyone's really focused on, is that Studio Ghibli, or something like that, Ghibli Studios or whatever, I probably pronounced that wrong as well, are working on this, and that's what everyone's focused about. So, you know, I saw the demo, like, I gotta fucking try this to see if it's more than just, you know, eye candy, and it is, thankfully. So, if you, I'm trying to figure out a great way to describe how the gameplay is. Basically, it feels a lot like any of Namco Bandai's previous RPGs that they've done recently. So, the first one that usually comes to mind is like Eternal Sonata. It feels a lot like that in that sense. Or the other one that they do, the Tales series, which one? Tales of Abyss, I think, was the one that was on the 3DS that they released. It feels a lot like those kind of RPGs. So, like, you can see the enemies like you can in, like, Eternal Sonata. I can't remember if you could in Tales, but you can see the enemies. You can try and avoid them, but good luck doing that because they catch up to you really quickly if you don't, like, sneak around them. A thing that I really like, which I believe was also in Eternal Sonata, which is why I'm constantly comparing the two, is you can move around in the battlefield. So it is an RPG, so when you go into the combat proportion of it, you can move around, but it does this other interesting system that you can either, during combat, you can control I'm going to call them the trainer for right now because I don't know what they're actually called in the game. The trainer, or these creatures that the trainer can summon. And you can bring with you on your little adventure up to 3 of them, and they each have their own special abilities or attacks. You can individually level them up, and you can also level up the trainer as well, and the trainer can also battle as well. And of course the trainer has a bit more too. I mean, like, the trainer can use items, they can use spells, they can use, like, other things, like in flea battle, they can organize tactics, where the creatures can just, you know, attack, defend, and use their own little special abilities. And it's actually really fun. It's very enjoyable. At first I thought it was very turn-based, but it sort of is, but sort of isn't. If you've like, the style isn't turn-based at all. It's like you do your attack and you have to wait for, or like you do your thing, so whether you attack or defend, and after you're finished doing that, you can use something else, but you can't, like, defend and then defend again because you have to wait for it to recharge. Same, as far as I know, you can't, like, attack and then immediately. Oh, actually, you can't immediately attack, but you know what I'm getting at, is there's a bit of a fairness to it, so it's not like you can just spam the defense constantly or something like that. You have to be a little more strategic about things. Also, with the creatures, is during the battle you can only have them out for such a long, extended period of time. It's enough time to get what you want done, but you can only have them out for so long before you have to either switch to another creature to let them rest a little bit, I guess, or play as the trainer for a bit. Uh, but it's really good. So the combat works. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's you know, like I said, it works. And the main focus of this obviously was that the Studio Ghibli's is working on the animation and all that stuff for the game. They didn't really show off any of like the animated cutscenes, which you want to know what I don't have to see it to know it's going to be awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you've seen any of their movies, it's really cool. But what they do show off, is enough to make it feel very much like one of their movies. So like I said, if you've seen like any of the Studio Ghibli movies where there's like this grand adventure that they go on, and whatnot, so like a Castle in the Sky, when it gets closer to the end, actually even, you know, when it gets to the middle part, like, I don't think Howl's Moving Castle really had that kind of action to it, but, or even Spirited Away in some senses, where you'll be doing these things, and it just feels a lot like you're part of a Ghibli movie. So, like, the demo has two different parts of the game you can try, and one of them is where you have to go up this volcano that's about to erupt and whatnot, and you have to like make it up there in like 3 minutes or whatever. And there's like these bits where you have to like scale the side of like this cliff that's on the volcano that's erupting, and you have to like wait because these geysers are like shooting fucking fire and shit. And I was just playing it, I'm like, wow, this really looks like they're trying to emulate that that sense of one of their movies, is where like it feels like there's a huge adventure, there's danger every step of the way and whatnot. And that's really cool. And I really cannot wait to try the full game to see what else they try to do to emulate that experience of one of their movies. Which brings me to my next point, and I'll get to the voice acting in a second because I know that's what people are going to be wondering. We'll get my next point is that this feels very much. It feels like one of their movies is just a game. So if you really love those kinds, you know, Spirited Away, Castle in the Sky, Howl's Moving Castle, the one that they recently did that's based off the Borrowers that fucking slips my mind right now, then you might really like this game. It's the RPG element is a little bit challenging. I mean, it's not going to entirely hold your hand. Well, it sort of does, but at the same time, it doesn't. So like, there's a bit of a tutorial, which you kind of expect, but it's not going to be really holding your hand. Like, I had to figure out you could move during the combat part. I was like, fuck, you can move? You can move the camera around too? Oh, great. So yes, you have to figure a few things out in the demo, and I'm pretty sure those things get fixed in the full game, obviously. What else was I gonna say? The one thing that they do mention, which is part of the combat, is it'll tell you what attacks the enemies are going to be doing. So if you sort of memorize a little bit, like what attacks do what, you can actually defend against really, really strong attacks, which give you nice points, which give you little bonuses. Apparently, I don't know what the bonuses actually are, but apparently they give you bonuses, and it feels really rewarding that you can like defend against some really strong attacks, and then you see like your ally get wiped across the floor. Speaking of which, before I get to the voice acting, the AI in this, fucking stupid as hell. I mean, as the player, you're gonna make a few mistakes and forget to like defend, or you won't get to the defense button in time and whatnot. But the computer, the entire time I was playing, because there's this one section during the volcano bit where you are going to be playing with an ally that's controlled by the computer, and if the trainer that you're playing as, you know, falls during battle, you go over to them, which is pretty good. But the AI just would probably do nothing but attack, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, and you can change the tactics up, but it's like, shouldn't the AI be programmed to at least attempt to defend and whatnot? Like, I don't even think I've ever seen the computer using any of the specials like the spells or anything. So I was like, what? Why are you doing that? Dumb. Oh. One more thing before I get to the voice acting. I know, I'm saying that a lot. There's this character that follows Oliver, who's the main character in it. Called, oh fuck, what was it? Drippy or something like that. Yeah, so it's Drippy, Mr. Drippy, and he, during the battle, he'll be circling the combat field, dropping like little pieces of helps and whatnot. So like he'll throw like something that'll give you a bit more HP or a little more MP, and I like that. That's a nice little system. So it's like, you know, if you're sort of like, oh, I'm in a tight spot and I don't have anything, so it in a way eliminates the probability of like having almost a stalemate play out or something like that, or like forcing you to restart your where you left off or something. Because I know there are like one or two instances during RPGs where you're down, you have no items, you're down on like MP, and you're like in the stalemate or some shit, or like you need that extra little bit, but you have nothing like items are with you. So, you know, Drippy there can give you a little bit of help, which I like. It's a nice little addition, whatnot, and it's just sort of off the side, so you don't have to use it, but it's there. And that's really cool. So, voice acting. Weird. The voice acting works. I mean, like, if you've seen any of their movies, you sort of get what you're going to, you know what you're going to get into. I don't know if any celebrity voices are in this. It almost sounds like Drippy might have a celebrity voice, but it just might be the accent that the actor is using for the character. And there's even times where you can barely. There's like this one bit during one of the things where I could not understand what the fuck he was saying. I was like, thank God I have the subtitles on. Or also next to English, you can also have the Japanese track, because obviously I know people prefer listening to that than the English, even though it's more or less done at the same time. I think they got like this game like last year, and now we're just getting it now. But it's there. What is the other thing? Oh, the translation. I don't know if it's just the character, because there was a few instances with once again Drippy's character, where it was just showing text, because they can't have the thing fully voice acted. Well, they probably could, but you know what I mean. There's this text, and I'm reading it, and it's like, what was it? It was like, look at that. There's useful. And I'm like, wait, what? There's useful? That does not make sense. So there's like, I don't know if it's, you know, how the character's supposed to be speaking, if it's just like the thing that character does, or if it's just they sort of fucked up a little bit. But I think it's only a demo thing, because it was when I went to just check out like this little sewer grate looking thing, which I think might be save points in the game. And obviously you can't save in the demo, but I was just like, I hope there's no more of those in the game. Oh, they do another one where it's like, your, instead of spelling, you know, Y-O-U-R, it's Y-O-U-E-R, which is like, I don't even know how to fucking pronounce it, but you know what I mean. There's just little instances, and once again, it's a thing that Drippy has, so it could be just the character's, thing, his little shtick, but, or it could just be really shitty translation, which hopefully gets fixed, because I don't think I could sit through it, but I mean, like, that sort of, like, takes off a few points for it having really bad spelling grammars and stuff, and I can see, like, it getting really bashed for that, too, because usually those people bash them for things like that. Anyways, the game overall is really good, and that's a good thing. It's if you never played it, the demo's there on the PlayStation 3. It's the PlayStation 3 exclusive. Definitely give it a try, especially if you like RPGs. You might really like this one. If you like those films, like the Studio Ghibli films, you'll really like this, I think, because it feels much like a film. There's really no learning curve to speak of. The demo sort of gives one, but I think the game won't really have one. And and it's just really fun. It's a fun little game. So, yeah, until next time, keep on gaming.